evening, everyone. I hope that all of you are doing fine. So, first of all, let me welcome you to the very first session on a series of sessions hosted by FOSS. And this will be heavily focused on UI UX. So, today we are graced by a very special speaker. So, let me first of all introduce you to her. Say hi to Supun Shashini, who is a UI UX engineer at Corzent and who is also a tad popular on YouTube, which I'm pretty sure that most of you are already aware of. So, let me hand over the screen to her and she can carry on with what she has planned today.
Okay, thank you, Akalanka. Hi, guys. So, hope you guys are doing really well. So, welcome to UI UX Kickstart series. So, as the first session of the series, we're going to be talking about basic UI UX stuff. Yeah, Akalanka have already given a full introduction about me. Yeah, I'm Supun Shashini and I'm a UX engineer at Corzent. And it's been 10 months since I started working at here. It was a quite great journey, but way to go. So yeah, this would be our today's agenda. I'm hoping to talk about UI UX in general, and we'll discuss and we'll talk about why designing, and let's get familiar with some of the industrial values as well. So yeah, let's jump right in. So UI UX in general. Obviously, I'll start with the simplest and most obvious question to start this session. Uh, what is UI UX? I know most of you guys have heard about this, like you may have gone through different type of definitions for UI UX from courses, some of the internet stuff, and some of the organization. There are lots of definitions for UI UX, right? Yeah. UI stands for user interface and UX stand for user experience, right? Before jump right into those structured definitions, we'll discuss, like we'll get familiar with these two words because we don't need any definitions because we already know it because we are already experience it. Yeah, I'll start with user interface. I know mobile interfaces, web interfaces, we are all familiar with those two types of interfaces, right? Actually, what is a user interface? So you know that there are these mobile application, web applications. Some may can come to us as products. So we are using these interfaces very obviously, right? So user interface is something like it's something that connects us with the system or a product or application, right? It's just this space between us, between the system and us, right? Yes, just think about a simple web application or a mobile application. We are familiar with these buttons, colors. There's this information, like there's this information, images, and some of them are having these input fields, lots of elements, right? So we are interacting with this in order to interact with the application. So basically, you say interface is something like a middle person, right? So this middle person connects us with the system or application, or it can be a product in order to interact with that, right? So that's the basic idea about this user interface. I know we all uh, having this experience of using mobile interfaces, web interfaces. Like there are various type of interfaces, and it gives us this various aesthetical feeling, right? So we have the general idea about user interfaces. Um, but I'm having this question. It's only about mobile and web? No, right? When it comes to user interfaces, in our day to day life, we are dealing with different kinds of user interfaces. Just think about an ATM machine or a simple calculator or a stove in the kitchen. So these products having its own type of interface, right? Just take this ATM machine. It's not only about this digital screen there, right? We have this space to input our card, and we have this space to like get in the receipt, and there's this button panel. With all these elements, it became the ATM machine, right? So it's the ATM interface. So just take a calculator. It also having this button panel and a screen. So these kind of different user interfaces that we are dealing with every day. So when we are using these interfaces or a product, if we are interacting, so basically what's the idea about this is we are interacting throughout the interface in order to do our action throughout system, product, or application. So there's this applications, products, systems we are dealing with, but sometimes we are getting very confused because in order to use in this stuff, right? Product, it can be a product or application. I know most of you having this experience like using some kind of a mobile application or web application. Not only that, like ATMs or can be different calculators. So sometimes when we are using these products, we are getting confused, right? And we are having this exhausting feeling. Sometimes we are getting so angry while using this product because like from the starting from the moment we are starting to use this product to the end, we are having these numerous feelings, right? It can be bad feelings, so it can be confusing. So someone may come and ask how you feel about this product or application or this system. If it's bad, you will say definitely, oh, I really don't like this product. I really don't like this application because it gives me this exhausting feeling, because it gives me this confusing feelings, right? So that's the overall feeling about this product if it's bad. Among all those bad experienced products, we all have experienced some of the well designed product, right? These products gives us this being easygoing, and this product is gives us a smooth feeling, right? Like we don't feel like that we are interacting with throughout the interface, or we are interacting with the product, because it's well designed, right? That whole experience is very nice. Not only that, these products are giving the motivation to use over and over again, like kind of addiction, right? So now, from the starting point of using a product and to end, we are having these numerous feelings and emotions, right? So in general, we call it as a user experience for that product. So generally, if that experience is very bad, if we are continuously getting confused or exhausting feeling while we are using that product, we are saying, oh, I don't like the experience of this product, right? If it's very good, like if it's a very smooth, easygoing, and somewhat of a having like giving us very good feeling, we are saying, yeah, it's a very good product, like the user experience is very nice, right? Yes, that's the whole thing about user experience. User experience is something like that we feel about something, right? How we feel. In this case, we are feeling good or bad when it comes to using product. So it can be bad, it can be good, it can be easygoing, it can be confusing. So these emotional, these aesthetical feeling that we are having while using product, we call it the user experience. Okay, now we have the general idea about what is what is a user interface and what is a user experience. Like a story, like we all have gone through this uh, experience, right, when we are using some products. So yeah, now we will come to some of the structural definitions for user experience and user interfaces. So I gathered these four definitions from three different websites. Uh, User experience. Wikipedia is saying is user experience is about how a person feels about using a system. We talk about it, right? It's how we feels about the system or application or product. So it would be feel really bad or it would feel really nice, right? So it's all about these feelings. When it comes to Nelson Norman Group, they're saying user experience encompasses all aspects of the end user's interaction with the company, its services, and its products. We just only talk about products, right? But Nelson Norman Group here, like highlighting some of a very important point. What it is it's not only product. User experience is something beyond than only a product. It can be about a service or it can be about company, right? So we all having this experience, like we all having this some kind of a feeling when we are interacting with some of the products, services, and companies, or even some of the people and situations, right? So if I ask you a question like, how's your experience with this government? Right? You all have your experience, you all have your feelings, right? So when it comes to user experience, even though we are specifically talk about products experience, user experience is way more broader than this. Okay, so it can be a company, it can be a service, it can be a product. So it encompasses all aspects of end users interaction. This user experience is coming when we are interacting with something, right? It can be a product, like we are interacting with the mobile application or a product or system, or we are interacting with the services that someone is giving us, or it can be a company, right? When we are interacting with these things, we are having this user experience and we are having these feelings, right? And the other one is saying that the entire set of effects that are elicited by the interaction between a user and a product, aesthetic, emotional, and experience. Yes, these feelings, these thoughts can be categorized as can be aesthetic, emotional, yes, can be experience, right? So user experience is something like all the aspects that we are having while interacting with a product. So it can be aesthetic, like emotional, like we it will like includes uh, different types of feelings while we are interacting with that. Okay, yes. Next one is user interface. Wikipedia is saying that in the industrial design field of human computer interaction, a user interface is the space where interactions between humans and machine occurs. Like I said, it's this space, right? We are interacting with a product or a machine, and there's this space that helps us to interact with that machine. So that's we call user interface. Okay, so we'll move to some we'll move to UX designing and UI designing. I got this banner from a very website that are well known for UI UX engineering designing. So it's why I choose this banner because it has this general idea about what UX designing and UI designing is does. So UX designing, human first approach to product design, and it will apply it on physical and digital product. It's right, like we can design user experience with some of the physical products as well as the digital products. User experience design is focuses on the full experience from a user's first contact to the last. So we talk about this starting point of using a product, and there's this ending point, right? So quite a journey, right? From the starting to end, there's this full experience that we are having as users, right? So user experience designing is focused on that full experience. What it creates, user experience designing creates the structural design solutions for pain points that users encounter anywhere along their journey with the product. So we are having some of the new words here, like structural design solutions, pain points, right? Yes, I'll explain it this way. We are having we all having these needs, right? Pain points. We all have this pain point to manage our finance. Okay, so we are seeing these different kinds of applications that help us to manage our financial. So that application itself a design solution, right? We all have in this pain to like manage these finance things, and people are come up with a solution as a application. So yeah, it's a solution. So UX designing is always creates this structural design solution for pain points that users have. So after doing it, it will result in products that delight users with their effectiveness. So in user experience designing, like it's very important to have this effectiveness word, because good user experience design will delight the user with the effectiveness. It would be a very effective product that if we are going to design the user experience very well, it would be very effective with the users. They will love it. Okay, so that's the like general idea about UX designing, like what's the where we applied on, and what we focuses on, what we create, and what results in. So when it comes to the interface designing, human first approach to designing the aesthetic experience of a product. It's right, like when it comes to a product or application, first what we see is that aesthetical interface, right? All the colors, all the buttons, how they balance between those image and typography. The first thing we are seeing is that aesthetic interfaces, right? Aesthetic elements there before like jumping to the user experience, right? So UI designing is the aesthetic, like designing the aesthetic experience of the product. So application, digital products only. I'm having a question right here, but I will come to that point later. And UI designing focuses on the visual touch points that allow users to interact with the product. So we are seeing these visual touch points, like visual elements, like I said, buttons, all those input fields, images. Those are the things that visual UI designing is focusing on. And what it creates, combination of typography, color palettes, buttons, animation, and imagery. Interface itself, a combination of these elements, right? That what it creates. So it will result in product that delight users aesthetically. So we talk about that user experience designing will delight users with the effectiveness, and user uh, interface designing will delight the users aesthetically. Like there's these two phases, look and feel. So feel would be like how you feel it. It goes to user experience designing, and how it looks. User interface designing is create how it looks. So yeah, um, does this user interface designing only focuses on digital products? It's questionable, right? Uh, what do you think? This user interface designing is only focused on digital products? Is it right? No, right? In my opinion, uh, there's this digital products and non-digital products. They all having their like they all having user interfaces, right? It can be digital, but we are talking about, most of the time we are talking about, when it comes to user interface, we are talking about digital products. But user interface designing can also like applied on non-digital products. Okay, so now we talk about user uh, what's user interface, what's user experience, and generally we touch some of the things in UX designing and UI designing. What's the big deal? Like why we are talking about these things? Like does it matters? Like we have to talk, do we have to talk about it really this much harder? Yes, my answer is yes. We need to talk about UI UX designing because it matters. To explain this, I'll explain it in business point of view. Like I said, we are having these pain points, right? It's not reducing, like it's not vanishing. Some point of a time, we are getting more and more needs, wants, and pain points as humans, right? We are not satisfying at all. So if I take this bulb, like this, we are having this bulb. Uh, Humans back then, humans had these pain points, like they didn't want to be there in dark, right? So someone has came with this solution, a bulb. So it gives this lightning effect and all. So they are selling it, right? Since we are having this pain point, and since there's this solution for that as product, and people are selling it. So if that product has a good user experience, if the users are getting delighted by using that solution, they will continuously buying it, right? So it's a business, right? So if no one would, if there's a solution and there's product, and if no one would like it, like if they think that the user experience is not aligned with that product, they will not buy that product, right? So we are in this digital era, though all these solutions are now digitalized. Like apart from these like physical things, we are having these digital things, so application systems and all. So still we are having these pain points, and now these pain points are getting modified time to time, and there's these solutions, and these solutions are now digitalized. People are selling these solutions, right, as a digital product. So yeah, now we are a team. We identified some of the pain points, that some of one pain point that users have, and we are came up with a very nice solution, and we are going to develop it as a web application or a mobile application. Okay, so now we are going to develop it as we want. We are just not talk about UI UX there. Like there's this buttons, elements, blah blah blah. They are in that like anyway. We produced it, we developed it, right? We didn't think about UI UX. So what will happen? We are going to sell it. People are very curious. Yes, they will start to using your product, but from the moment when from the moment they when they started using your product, they will understand that this user experience is very bad. Like, I don't like this product. Okay, because we guys, we us are not think about other users or their experience. Okay, so what will happen? No one will use your product, right? Because people are really like I said, we people are not satisfying with one thing, or sometimes they are not satisfying at all, right? They are comparing these things, like these products, like they are having this previous user experience with some of the products. Now we are having this product, new product, and we are the users are comparing what is the best to look, what is what does what product is doing great. Okay, so if we are not going to consider about UI UX designing very well, no one will buy your use your product, and it will lead to lose the existing customers, and it will duplicate your effort, time and money, and navigate brand perception, renewal losses, bad reputation, and yes, lots of complaints. I know you may have uh, flashbacks coming and going, like about these specific mobile or web application that you are always complaining about, right? Sometimes if these products are not aligned with the good user experience and user interfaces, we are just simply moving, right? Moving out, like we choose another application or product instead of that, because we don't love hassle. Like, even though it's a product that gives us a solution, a better solution, we don't like it if it has this bad user experience. Just think about us. We don't like this web application that takes too much times to load, right? Yeah, just like, "Meh, I don't like this," right? So that's it. We should consider about UI UX very seriously, because now we are in digital era. Now everything is coming as digital products. So you uh, user experience designing and interface designing is a must. We need to do it very well. Okay, so now we uh, get an idea about what's UI, what's UX, and generally uh, what's all about UI, UX, and UI design, and why it matters. So let's talk about why designing, like user experience designing, user interface designing, why designing. Okay, yeah, we all know about this guy, a great guy, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs once said, like, most people make the mistake of thinking design is what it looks like. People think it's this winner that the designers are handed this box and told, make it look good. That's not what we think design is. It's not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. So, yeah, we talk about how these products looks like and feels like. And when it comes to designing, Steve Jobs is saying that design is how it works, right? Yes, most of us having this like thought, like designers are some creatures that making beautiful stuff. right? So every time we see a designer, we think, yeah, he's doing some kind of a beautiful stuff like screens, beautiful colors and all. But it's not right, right? When it comes to design, it's not only about the look and feel, and it's all about how it works, right? So if we take a design in a application or a product, uh, this looks and feel is just two aspects of the design. So overall user experience, overall things in the design is how it works. We need to uh, design how it works. Other than that, if we are going to only focus about it looks and feels and not about how it works, it would be a bad design. So we have to keep in that mind, like keep that in mind, like design is something, when designing we are make it work really better. Okay, so yeah, I'm saying that designing is very hard. Why designing is hard? Because we have to make it work really better. Okay, just look at these three, I would say, yes, images, and think these images are representing users, different users. Okay, so there's this first one, there's this system generated message that is showing to start, press any key. Some of the users may may find, may search where's the any key, right? Because it's saying like press any key. So in the keyboard they might go and search this any key, and some of the user will get so angry and loosen up their temper uh, by using by searching those that any key, but he or she couldn't find it. Disasters will happen, right? So the third one, the third customers. So computer is giving this press any key to continue. Normal people go for spacebar. Um, uh, some of them go for escape key, and there's this some of the users go for power button, right? There's not something there's nothing wrong with that, right? The computer is simply saying that press any key to continue, so he chose the power button. The other the other user is going infinity and beyond, and he chose the car keys. He can't say anything, right? Because the instruction is saying press any key, and these people are having different mindset, like they are not us. If they would be us, they would be like us, we'll simply go for a space bar or anything. But these people having these people are different. That's why that's why we are calling design is very hard to make it better, to make it work better. And it would be really hard, like we are designing for the users, not for us, right? We are designing some of the people that we uh, never seen, like we never seen those people. And there's these users who have different mindsets. They will come from different regions, from different cultures, and with different knowledge level. So that's why we are calling it design is very hard. Because if it's like designing, like we are designing only for us, it would be much easier, because we know how we think about stuff. Like we know what are the colors we like, what are the typography we like, and what are the functionalities we like to process, blah blah blah. we know about ourselves, but we don't know about other people, because they are, when it comes to like situations, they are acting very differently. That's why we are saying designing is very hard. When it comes to designing, we need to think about all these aspects when if we want it to be a good design. So yeah, we talk about designing, what design is, and why designing is very hard, and what is a good design. Okay, so good design is a solution that serves the users and satisfy them. I said earlier that we humans are really hard to satisfy. Okay, so a good design is a solution. It's a solution. Like I said, there's this numerous pain points that users have, and we are coming up with this, like we are coming with a solution. A good design is a solution that serve the users and satisfy them. So we are helping them to reduce those pain points. So a good design contains these three points. First one is, does what the users need and want. So we all have these we all are having these needs and wants. And when it comes to needs and wants, they are two different things, right? When I'm saying I need that, and when I'm saying I want that, that's two different things, right? So a good design actually align with what users need and wants. So they are expecting this they are having these needs and wants that need to fulfill, and they are thinking that design will help them to fulfill those pain points, needs and wants. So good design will address the exact user needs and wants. The other thing is, a good design will always natural to use. So we are having this experience, right? We some of Most of the time we are having this natural way of using some products, applications, right? So if I take an example like eBay, okay, so there's this process, like there's this natural process that we are following in order to like purchase something. uh, First we go to the goods list, and we select one item to purchase, and we can if we can want like buy it later, we can put it to cart, and otherwise we can buy it now. So after clicking at it, there's this phases like we are inserting our credit card numbers and all addresses to be delivered, right? And then there's this checkout process, right? So it's very natural to everyone. Like we know what's happened there after going through a one page to another. So if we are thinking like to change this product, change this process, and if we are going to introduce a new process, modified version, will users take it? It's suddenly there in the website, and it seems very unfamiliar to process, like it's just different ways, that modified ways. People will panic, right? People will feel unsafe within that website because it's not natural at all. So we always have to keep our mind when we are designing something. If we want it to be a good design, we always have to follow the natural way uh, of the process. So basically, it should natural to use. Okay. The other one is, good design is always helps to them to avoid trouble. So yeah, there's these products, applications. uh, we are designing those product and applications, and yeah, we are designing most easiest and most wonderful application there. Even though we design it to be very clear and very easygoing, some of the users may fall in trouble. Definitely. Because it's not us, right? We are simply designed for other people, and we can't assume that they will go through this without having any trouble. This is always trouble. This is always trouble when it comes to users and using that product. So we always have to keep in mind, like, users will fall in trouble while going through with this application, and we have to help them. You guys have seen these chatbots, uh, in the corner of the website, every website. So users having this feeling that if I'm get into trouble inside the application, this is always this is help there, right? So they are not afraid to use your application, and you are like facilitate them to undo, right? If they like if they are going to do something, and if after that they feel that it's not right, you are helping them to undo the action, right? So always these three things will align with a good design, and we always have to keep those three in our mind when we are designing something. So basically, good design is a solution that serves the users and satisfies them, and it always does what the users need and wants, and it always be natural to use, and it will always help them to avoid trouble. Yeah, good design is user centered. So we now we talk about these users and how they think, blah blah blah. So and we talk like we are always designed for other people, not for us, right? So good design is always user centered design, right? What is a user centered design? User centered design is based upon an explicit understanding of users, tasks, and environments, is driven and refined by user centered evaluation, and addresses the whole user experience. So it's all about users, right? So in this play, our highlight always goes to the users. So, user centered design is based on the explicit understanding of users, tasks, and environments. So, when we are going to design, we are going to design like for users, we always have to have this good understanding of users, what the tasks that they are processing, and their environment. Because why this understanding is very vital, because users and their task and their environments are getting changed every time. Okay, for an example, just think about the time, that pre-corona time. At that point, we had different needs and wants, and we processed some of the different tasks, like the same task, in a normal way, and the environment is also very normal. But while we are in this corona times, like pandemic times, we got changed, right? Our task got changed, the environment got changed, right? So it always changing, right? Time to time it's always changing, like users, their tasks and environments, they are always changing. So we have to understand these things in order to design. Why we are using this is driven and refined by user centered evaluation. Why we need to evaluate about users? Because like I said, these environment tasks and users are getting changed every time. So just take as example, like we do banking, right? Before corona, it's just normal tasks that we are processing. Some may can use the uh, uh, some may prefer going to bank physically and do their transactions and all. And while in the pandemic situation, it got changed, right? We all have to uh, be at our homes and do our banking stuff, right? So we have to always evaluate users, task, and their environment, because time to time it's getting changed, right? Now think about this crisis. Now think about this situations of crisis. Now we used to go to have some full physical in there. Now we have to look for an application to do that, right? It got changing. It's always changing with the environment. So we have to evaluate these things and we need to address the whole user experience. So we have to keep in mind that we have to have this understanding of users, task, and environmental, and we have to evaluate all the by centering these users, and we have to always address the whole user experience in order to design a user-centered design. So it's all about, like I said, it's all about users. It's not about us. Okay. Yes. So now we are now having this idea about UI UX generally. So we talk about why it's important to have, like, why designing and all. So let's talk about some industrial values. Okay. So just go through these quotes, I would say, from two different websites that I got got like globally. When it comes to, like, if we are going to talk about this industry globally, for the UI UX, globally it has this very good place, because like I said, in this digital era, we are like processing our actions throughout these digital products and all. So user experience is very important, right? So most of the companies now now get into this user experience designing and user interface designing, because they know that user experience and like by researching about users and designing for them is very important in order to like retain in the industry. It's not only about one industry, right? When it comes to UI UX, it linked with it linked with almost every industries, right? Because it's now in we are in digital era. Now Sri Lanka also, we can see a rapid like now companies talking about UI UX engineer designing, right? So they are tend to like hire people that have good skills in this UI UX industry, because in order, like, they are also like selling their solutions, right? So in order to like get users attention, in order to retain your users for your product, they need to design user experience and UI very uh, good, right? So we are having this good place in the industry, like as UI UX designers. So we don't have to like worry about like the careers and job opportunities in this field, because now it's growing more and more with the technology. Okay, so I thought to discuss some of the UX job roles that currently available in the industry. So it will gives you some kind of idea if you are like willing to uh, step into this industry. You will have an idea about different job roles out there in this UI UX industry. So I'm going to talk about UX designers, product designer, visual designer, UX researcher, content strategist, and about UX unicorn. Okay, UX designer. We all familiar with this job role, UX designer. We all heard about this job role. UX designer is a generalist who cover a little of everything in the entire design process. Okay, UX designers will understand the user's need, generate ideas to solve their problems, prototype designs, finally test them with users. In large companies, UX designers are works with other designers, uh, such as UX researchers and visual designers. We call them UI designers. In most of the companies, UX designers tend to handle all the design works. Sometimes they are doing start to end UX process and UI designing process also. So UX designers, also known as interaction designers, UI/UX designers, and experience designers. So most when it comes to UX designers, there are these deliverables, and there's these most common deliverables that produce as a UX designer. Those are would be user research reports, user personas, user journey maps, prototypes, wireframes, mockups, usability reports, user testing reports, and sometimes design system, patterns, libraries, and style guides. Okay, the next one, product designer. Um, Product designer is the role that this role is relatively new and overlaps in many ways with the UX designer role. A product designer pays special attention to the product on top of the user's experience. So, product designers are always helping to create the product's designs as well as the product goals and roadmaps. Roadmap is essentially a high level summary of the future direction of the product's offerings and features. So, while UX designers are considering about business goals and they are designing experience for users, product designers must consider not only today's business goals but also the future business goals as well. So sometimes some companies view product designers as senior designers. So some of the companies will give different type of kind of a titles for these product designers. So it up to the company, right? Okay. Next one is visual designer. We all know about visual designers. Visual designers are also specialists. Uh, we can call them as UI designers, or sometimes we call them like some companies tend to call them graphic designers, right? So they are. I'm talking about UX designers. They are focusing on UI designers, so they are focusing on creating pixel perfect prototypes for the product. So basically, they are designing user interfaces. Their transfer UX goes into set of easy to use and accessible designs such as a set of designs. And most of the time, these UI designers uh, tend to deliver like pixel perfect prototypes, interactive prototypes, visual style guidelines, icon libraries, and some of them are responsible for deliver some of the branding materials or guidelines. So after visual designers, we'll talk about UX researchers. This UX, when it comes to UX researchers, these are also some specialists, and they are use quantitative and qualitative user research method to provide real user information with other designers will use to inform their designs. So they are mainly involving with this user research part in order to like evaluate users, their task, and yes, their environment. So next one is content strategies. These content strategies are contributing to the prototype phase. So the design in this design process, and so they are specifically target on copywriting. Okay, so we can call them like copywriters or UX writers. So mainly they are focusing about words or the content of the product, and they are responsible for this writing effective copy for the product for users product, and sometimes they are creating these user effective page titles, navigation menu items, names, so and so. The last one, UX unicorn. It's a quite nice name, right? So UX unicorns, we are referred to someone like a all rounder. Okay, so typically, so it could be a UX designer who's proficient in design and front end development. Like basically, they know how to code, right? So they are like doing this all round works there. So they all will do so they all will do all the tasks mentioned under the UX designer, and they will develop live front end prototypes and implement the front end codes of the design. So that's why we are call them as UX unicorns. In this industry, UX unicorns are a bit rare. And I have to tell you guys, like when it comes to UI UX designing, you need you are not required to code. But if you are knowing how to code, it would be a plus point. Okay. Okay. Let's after like having an idea about these different roles, I thought to like show some involvements of these UX job roles in product designing, product developing process. So when it comes to product development, we are starting with this strategy, and there's this research and analysis phase, and after that design and prototyping phase, and development will go after that, and there's this testing, and we'll see and there's this final product. So I have to tell you guys, like this involvement can be different to companies, because sometimes only one person can be responsible for all these things, like product designing, like UX researching, like making information architect, like architecture of the information, content strategies, like these all those things can be done by a one person. Like, so in this case, we are having separate people. So product designer will be there in the process from starting to end. And there's this UX architect, and there's this UX researcher, and they will wait, like a UX architect will be there until the design and prototyping phase, and UX architect would be doing the research and analytics, and after that they will hand over it to the UX designers. So there are these information architects, content strategies, and there's these UX designers who are involving from the strategic phase to designing and prototyping phase. And after that, there's this designers who are designing the interaction of the product. And in design and prototyping phase, we can find UI UX designers and visual designers. And after this strategical and research and analysis, design and prototyping phase, these people will hand over to the UI developers and full stack developer to develop the product. And there's this testing going on. So it's this process is a cycle, right? So we are testing, we are producing. This will go as a cycle. So like I said, like I wanted to give a like small idea about the involvement of these job roles. But in different companies, there's this different adaptations, and there are different job titles be there. And also all these works can be done uh, by one person in some of the companies. So yeah, so we got to know about some basic idea, uh, like we got an basic idea about what's UI, what's UX, and why some of the general idea about UX and UI, designing and why designing, and what are the aspects that make a good design. And we talk about some of the uh, job roles there in the industry. So now I'm going to talk about like attitudes. When it comes to like UI UX designing, we need to have these right attitudes towards to adopt towards your our UX works, right? So if you are going to like step uh, on as a UX designer, uh, UI designer, or any other person, or if you are going to like if you would like to be a UX unicorn, so you have to adopt right attitudes. So first one is you need to have improve your skills, right? There are these technical skills, there are these soft skills for UX designers. Okay, so technicals, when it comes to technical skills, yes, is you should have to have this ability of understanding users, prototyping, wireframing, user flows, mockups, uh, doing user research, usability testing, user personas, UX writing, knowing about information architecture. Uh, these would be some technical design skills that you have to have as a UX designer. So, like this is a process, right? This kind of this UX designing UI designing is something like a strategy. Like we have to have go through some processes in order to have some results. So always you need to have improve this technical design. You need to have practice, right, to making those personas, prototyping, and all. So other than that, other than the technical design skills, we all need to have these soft skills. You need to have that curiosity. Like, so basically, as UX designers, we are giving solution. We are giving structured design solution to the users pain points. So basically, we are problem solver, right? So you always have to have this curiosity inside your mind. Like you always have to ask question like why it's happening, why we are doing this. Okay, so we have to have this curiosity in your mind in order to be a good UX designer. And also, you have to have this empathy. Like I said, we are designing for someone who even we don't know, right? So there's this users, there's this us. So we are designing for users uh, out there in the society. So you always have to have this empathy towards them. Like you should be ready to jump right into their shoes and understand them. So user empathy is very important in order to understand the users, their task and environment. So you should have this empathy towards user. And the other one is you should have this great communication skills, because we are going to work with different types of people, different levels of people. Since we are giving solution, we need to communicate with users. And when it comes to our teams, we all are having managers, leads, developers that we working with us. So if better communication can be used in the the when we are working, better communication is very important. Because in order to communicate what's in our mind, we need to have to practice, we need to have that practice to communicate better. So there's these developers, if we are keep failing to communicate our solution to their in order to develop, they will end developing something very different than what we said, right? So there's this communication is very important uh, as UX designers. The other one is you need to have to be very collaborative. Like I said, we are going to work with bunch of different peoples, teams and all. So you should be very collaborative person, and you should be flexible. And you should always willing to build a good network around you as a UX designer. So these are the things that we need to keep and that we need to improve, like as skills, soft skills for the UX designers. And the very important thing is, like as I said, you always there's this important skill, like you should always become a problem solver. So in order to give solution, we need to solve them, right? So important thing is you should become a problem solver. And in order to do that, you should be very creative, right? Like you always should think out of the box. You should be very creative. Like I said, there are these different pain points, different needs and wants that users are willing to always willing to reduce. And in order to reduce that, we have to satisfy them. So we have to be creative, other than the existing solutions and all. So we have to be always creative. And not only that, if you are willing to be a UX designer, you always need to open your eyes to new opportunities. Just don't settle for one thing. Like after getting your job as a UX designer, most of the people tend to settle for that title only. Uh, like they are creating this comfort zone around them. They are only doing the other teams, like they are only doing what others are saying you to do. So don't settle for that. Like always looking for some opportunities. And you always have to learn about those opportunities, and you always have to take them. So like I said, don't settle for one thing. And basically you need to explore everything. If we are taking the technology around us now, as UX designers, we need to think about a lot of things, right? For an example, there's this metaverse. Like it's a huge, right? It's a different technology that we use. uh, uh, it's a different technology, right? As UX designers, we need to think about those technical stuff, like what are the things that getting changing around us. So we always look for it, and we always have to explore things around us. So yeah, and while we are exploring, we have to be ready, and we have to take the risk to be changed. So these attitudes are very important. And when it comes to UX designing, other thing is tools, using tools. So most of the people are thinking like, when they are having this good understanding and good practice on some different tools, they are thinking like, tools make them a designer. It's not right, right? So UX designer and these tools, like we are using those tools in order to like have some help in what in this process, right? So knowing a tool is very good, but don't think like tool makes you a designer. Okay, so it's important to like having other skills than like knowing a tool. So don't settle for one tool, and go for like different tools and get the practice. And don't always think that you will become a designer if you know about these tools. So other thing is titles, like we talk about these titles, right? We talk about these titles, and there's these different titles. So you can get any of these titles, right? But don't just like go for much of these titles, because sometimes, like I said, there's these UX designers who are doing product design stuff also. Okay, so have the right skills, and uh, like have the right technical and soft skills, but don't settle for like titles. Like titles be there, but the important thing is what you are what you are doing inside that titles. And also, like fresh people, like if you want to become a UX designer, always always be ready to have these risks, and always explore and always learn about things. When it comes to me, like I've done so many things before, like coming into uh, this place. Like I worked as a trainee software engineer, and also like I did my A levels, advanced level in art stream. So I got I was there in different tracks before that. But when it comes to UI UX engineering, I started from the scratch. And I always had this like motivation to like learn by myself, because in my uni days I didn't have much exposure to this UI UX stuff, so I had to learn from the scratch. So with the help of my the seniors that they are in the industry at that time, uh, I learned everything from the scratch. And I have this motivation to explore more and more. So you got this chance, you have lots of resources to learn about. And don't settle for like, don't expect like others to carry you in this path. Okay, so there can be different people that they can guide you, but they can't carry you. Okay, guiding and carrying is two different things. What you all have to do is just start from the scratch, keep going, and just learn and have the right attitudes toward this UI UX stuff, and be a good problem solver. And always update yourself with the newest technology and all, and you'll and have this passion with you, because passion is the one who drives you with this UX UI industry. And be you, and do something amazing and something creative, and always keep in mind like to have right attitudes in this industry. So yeah, it's all about the attitudes that we need to have towards the UX works. So I would love to, if there are any questions up to this point, I would love to have them. Okay. Uh, yes, that's all about the UI UX Kickstart in Kickstart first session. So thank you very much, guys. Hope to see you in the next session. So I'm going to talk about this design thinking process as the next step. So for now, thank you so much, and over to you, Akalanka.
Thank you, Supun. Well, we actually have a few questions. Shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
So, let me start with the very first one. So, show it over here. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Read it up. Okay. So he's asking, I'll read this single. මට UI UX පැත්තට ආසාවක් තිය, but SC specialization එකත් එක්කම SC එක්ක UI UX එක පැත්තට එන්න පුළුවන්. I think it's just a little bit confused.
Yes. Shall I answer this in Sinhala?
Yeah,
Is
sure.
that fine? Okay.
Yeah.
හරි මට UI UX පැත්තට එන්න ආසාවක් තියෙයි, but SC ස්පෙෂලයිසේෂන් එකත් එක්කම SCත් එක්ක UI UX පැත්තට එන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඔව් ඇත්තටම එන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකයි අපි කතා කරේ UX යුනිකෝර්න්ස්ලා ගැන, like ඒගොල්ලෝ all roundersලා. ඒගොල්ලෝ මේ UI UX field එකේ ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ UI UX එක්කම ඒගොල්ලෝ like කෝඩිනුත් කරනවා. So මට තිබ්බේ මම කරේ මගේ ඩිග්‍රී එක information technology and management. ඒක ඇත්තටම UI UX එක කිසිම සම්බන්ධතාවයක් තිබුණ නැහැ. ඔයාට UI UX කරන්න ආසාවක් තියෙනවා නම්, ඔයාට ඒක passion එකක් තියෙනවා නම් කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. කියන්නේ information technology ඒ side එකෙන් නැතුව වුණත් ඔයාට passion එක තියෙනවා, ඔයාට right skills, ඔයාට ඒ ටික හදාගන්න පුළුවන් නම්, ඔයාව improve කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් SCත් එක්ක UI UX පැත්තට එන්න කිසිම බාධාවක් නැහැ. ඒක plus point එකක් වෙයි ඔයාට when you are doing your works in the industry.
Thank you. Aku ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳලා කියලා අපේ සිංගල් මාළු සිංගලෙන් අරගෙන යන්න. බලන්න මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. What is the career path for a beginner in UI UX? අපි මේකට උත්තර දුන්නා වගේ අන්තිමට වගේ.
ඔව්නේ. ඔව්.
ඊට පස්සේ can you tell me the difference between a product designer and UI UX engineer? මේකට ඔයාලට මොනවා හරි ඇඩ් කරන්න දෙයක් තියෙනවද විශේෂයෙන් ඒ ප්‍රශ්නෙට?
product designer UX UI designer මම කිව්වා වගේ ඒ දෙන්නම එක වගේ. product designer කියන්නේත් UI UX designer කරන්නේ සමහරක් වෙලාවට එකම දේවල් set එකක්. හැබැයි product designer හැම වෙලාවෙම UI UX designers also having this understanding about this user like business goals, right? Product designers la හැම වෙලාවෙම starting to end එයාලා business goal එකත් එක්ක තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ වැඩ කරන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ හැම වෙලාවෙම බලනවා ඒගොල්ලෝ design කරන product එකේ දැන් තියෙන current business goals එකත් එක්ක මොකද්ද environment එක. ඒ වගේම ඒගොල්ලෝ හැම වෙලාවෙම හිතනවා future, what is the future of this product with this business? ඒගොල්ලෝ හැම වෙලාවෙම ඒගොල්ලන්ට තියෙනවා product designer කෙනෙක් විදිහට road map එකක් මම කිව්වා වගේ. So එයාලා හැම වෙලාවෙම business goal එකත් එක්ක align වෙලා මොනවාද improvements ඒගොල්ලන්ට කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකට බිස්නස් වයිස් ඒගොල්ලන්ට මොනවද ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒ දේවල් තමයි ගොඩක්ම ප්‍රොඩක්ට් ඩිසයිනර්ස්ලා ෆෝකස් කරන්නේ. හැබැයි මං කිව්වා වගේ සමහර කම්පැනිස් වල සීනියර් UI UX ඩිසයිනර්ස්ලා ඉන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රොඩක්ට් ඩිසයිනින් තින්ග්ස් කරනවා. හරිද? සෝ මම කියන්නේ සමහර කට්ටිය මේ රෝල්ස් දෙක පටලව ගන්නවා. මොකද්ද කියන්නේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් ඩිසයිනර්ලා හැම වෙලාවෙම බිස්නස් කෝල් එකක් එක්ක ලයින් වෙලා ඒ ඉම්ප්‍රූව්මන්ට්ස් ගැන තමයි බලන්නේ. ඉතින් UX ඩිසයිනර්ස්ලාට මම කිව්වා වගේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන set of responsibilities එයාලටත් තියෙනවා. සමහරක් කලාවට මේ දෙකම එකම එක්කෙනෙක් කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. දෙන්නෙක් කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. අරග තමයි ගොඩක්ම ඩිෆරන්ස් එක ප්‍රොඩක්ට් ඩිසයිනර්ටයි UX ඩිසයිනර්ස්ටයි තියෙනවා.
Okay, thank you. So actually, I have one more question. Do you need to have an artistic eye to get to the UI UX field?
එක ටිකක් ආටිස්ටික් අයි ඔයාට තියෙන තරමට ඇත්තරම හොඳයි. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙහෙමයි UX UI අපි UI එකක් ඩිවලොප් කරද්දී තියෙන එක හොඳයි. like ආටිස්ටික් අයි එකක් තියෙන එක හොඳයි. හැබැයි අපි හැම වෙලාවෙම හිතන්න ඕන මම කිව්වා වගේ අපි UI එකක් යූසර් කෙනෙක්ට හදන්නේ ලස්සනටම නෙමෙයි. ඒ කියන්නේ UI එකක් ලස්සන කිරීමම නෙමෙයි අපේ අරමුණ. ගොඩක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා ඇති ඩිසයින්ස් තියෙනවා. ලස්සනම ලස්සනයි. හරිම ලස්සන කලර් බැලන්ස් ඔක්කොම හරි. but හැම වෙලාවෙම මම කිව්වා වගේ we need to think about how it works as a design, right? so ඩිසයින් එකක් කියන්නේ ලස්සන මාස්ටර්පීස් එකක් නෙවෙයි. ආටිස්ටික් දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. තියෙන එක හොඳයි ඔයාට ආටිස්ටික් අයි එකක්. හැබැයි ඔයාට මේ දේවල් කරන්න ඕන නම් ඔයා හැම වෙලාවෙම යූසර් ගැන අන්ඩර්ස්ටෑන්ඩින් එකක් යූසර් ගැන රිසර්ච් කරලා ඔයා හදන ඩිසයින් එකට හැම වෙලාවෙම ඔයාට තියෙන්න ඕන හේතුවක්. ඔයා ආටිස්ටික් දෙයක් ඔයා ඩිසයින් එක කරන්න හදනවනම් ඔයා හේතුවක් කියන්න ඕනේ. ඇයි මම මේ පාට තෝරගත්තේ? ඇයි මම මේ ෆොන්ට් කලර් එක තෝරගත්තේ? ඇයි මම මේ ෆොන්ට් ටයිප් එක තෝරගත්තේ? හැම වෙලාවෙම අර UX තියරිස් වලට අනුකූලව හැම වෙලාවෙම අපිට කියන්න හේතුවක් තියෙන්න ඕන. ඔයා ඒ හේතුව towards තමයි ඔයා ඩිසයින් එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ. Having an artistic eye is the best thing. You need to have it, but apart from that හැම වෙලාවෙම කියන්න ඕනේ ඩිසයින් එකක් කියන්නේ හැම වෙලාවෙම eye pleasing දෙයක්ම නෙමෙයි. UI එකක් කරාම ඔයා කිසියම් දෙයකට ඔයාගේ යූසර්ට help එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. කියන්නේ ඒක ලස්සන ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මෙහෙමයි. ඒ කියන්නේ හැම වෙලාවෙම දෙයක් තියෙනවා අපි දැන් ඩිසයින් එකක් ගත්තොත් යූසර්ස්ලා අපි ඩිසයින් එක දිහා බලපු ගමන් if it's eye pleasing like it's very clear and it's very beautiful these people are tend to like think like this might have a good user experience. ඒ කියන්නේ යාලා හිතනවා අර ලස්සන හොඳ ඩිසයින් එකක් තිබ්බ පමණින් එයාලා මුලටම හිතනවා ඒක user experience එක හොඳ වෙයි කියලා. හැබැයි ඒකම නැති වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්, right? So having an making an eye pleasing design is a plus point, but you need to be very careful with that and artistic eye එකක් කියන එක ඇත්තට හොඳයි. And you need to have a practice.
Thank you. So let me see what else do we have here. Okay, I found one. Can a graphic designer get straight in this field, and is there a way to get a job in the industry as graphic design?
Oh, මෙහෙමයි මම කිව්වා.
Excuse me, like will be really possible to answer in English because I forgot one thing. We have multilingual community over here. So
yeah. Okay. I'll go with that. Okay, like I said, like graphic designers, you can come into this field as a UX designer. You always have to have this thing in your mind, like UX is something and UI is another thing. Okay, UX is all about this user experience, and UI, like take a person, like their appearance, the way he looks, the way he have their clothes and all, that would be the user interface. When it comes to like their qualities and all, it would be the UX, user experience. So as a graphic designer, you can come into this field, but as I said, you need to improve. Like you need to have this practical experience. Like you need to improve your technical and soft skills as UX UI designer. So it's very important. Like have a good uh, portfolio. Like create a good portfolio if you are willing to come into this in field. Like do some of the like do UX process in practical. Like you can be you can learn about those theoretical stuff, but if you can do them practically, like creating personas, like creating some kind of wireframes. Like first take a small problem and try to solve it using UX process as a practical. So you can like you can do it as a project, and you can put to into your portfolio. The thing is, as a UX graphic designer, you can come to this field, but important thing is you have to improve your UX uh, uh, technical and soft skills toward this field.
Got it. So, actually, I have two more questions, but before we continue with that, can I ask you, like, do you have the time to answer?
Uh,
Because if
uh,
you are, we can always, because we already have another session planned, so we can
yeah,
ask the
yeah,
like,
yes. I'll try to like go and like answer this question in comment section. Like,
okay, sure.
yes, I'll get to try. Okay.
Okay. So, thank you once again. And for those who have questions left, just keep them packed up. And like I said, in the next session, fire them away, and I'll make sure they answered. And I guess it's time to wrap up, right? So,
Yes.
once again, thank you for joining with us. And I heard that it was like a little bit difficult to get the consent into the decision, right? So, so was it like a new experience, sir? Because it was for us. We hope that it was good for you as well as it was for us, right?
Yes, actually, I really need to thank all of you guys in the FOSS and community, because this is my first session. Like I never done any session before regarding the UI UX. So yeah, and this is great. Actually, I had quite a really great experience with all those things. Like I'm really happy that I got to know about this StreamYard application, because yeah, it's a good experience in here. And yeah,
So,
once again, I really need to thank you guys, Nisal, Akalank, and the people who are behind in this like organizing. So thank you very much. Hope to join in with you in next time.
thank you to Vaso, and let's meet in the next session.
Yes.